Hi everyone, it's Mr. Wright here, and in this maths video we're practicing short multiplication, which is the formal written method when we're multiplying larger numbers. It's set out just like column method in addition and subtraction. We're going to be multiplying a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number. We'll use our grid to help us. So 4 times 243 equals. Now what's happening here is this 4 at the moment is our part, and we have to multiply it 243 times. So we have to have that number for 243 times. We have to repeatedly add it that many times. Now if I try to represent that here, I'm not sure I could even do it without making a mistake, which means this is really inaccurate. I could definitely get this wrong. And if I did try to get it right, I think it would take me a very long time to try and do this, which means it's inefficient. So we can change things so that this can become accurate and efficient. So we're going to take this number as our part instead, because multiplication is commutative. We can multiply in any order, so we can now make the 243 our part instead. It's going to make things much easier, much quicker. So now we need to multiply that out, repeatedly add it 4 times. So we have to have that part repeatedly 4 times. So really what we're doing is we're combining these parts to find the whole. Now, to put it onto the grid, I need to represent those 4 parts. So I'm going to quarter this grid, and then I'm going to put each number in. And of course it's 2 for the 200. It's 4 representing the 4 groups of 10, the 40, and the 3 ones. And all I need to do then is I need to have it 4 times. I need to see 4 groups. So I've got my 3 sets now of that number and the 4th at the bottom. There we are. Nice and easy to represent. So I've got 243 and I have it once, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. We're going to start multiplying from those values so we can exchange up as we make this number larger. So what we have now, we have 3 times 4, meaning the 4 groups. So 3 times 4 is 12. Now 12, there's too many ones in this column, so we're going to look for those 10. Now I think it's 9 and 1, isn't it? Did you spot it? So what we're going to need to do, this 10, which is part of the 12, is going to need to be exchanged, regrouped from all those ones, those 10 ones, into a group of 10 in the tens column. We're going to leave behind those 2 units from the number 12. And now we move the tens column. We have 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. We could repeatedly add that to check. So 4, 8, 12, 16. So it is. Now that 16, it's too many groups of 10. We need to exchange some out. So I can see there that's a 4 and a 4, which is 8. So 2 more is going to give us our group of 10. I'm going to leave 4 and 2, which is 6. That's the 10 and the 6 and 16. Now remember the real value though. That 10 isn't 10, really. It's 10 tens, which is 100, which is why it's going to be exchanged, regrouped into 100 in this column. I'm going to leave the 6 behind, which is 60. But we must remember to add this exchanged 10 to it. So 6 plus 1 is 7, or 70. Now we're moving the hundreds column. It's 2 times 4, which is 8. Now 8 plus 1, it's 9. We remember that exchange value. So we've solved this correctly. And what we can see was there was 2 parts, 2 ways we had exchange. Our 3-digit number here, 243, has remained a 3-digit number when we multiplied it 4 times. Sometimes when you do this, you might end up exchanging into your thousands, but not this time. So we know the whole, we've solved it, it's 972. Let's always balance our number sentence. 972 is the equals, it's the whole. So now we understand it. Let's have a look at this on the short multiplication written method. So we're going to take our part, 243, and we're going to multiply that by 4, because the 4 goes in the ones column because it is just a 4. And we need our equals. And now we understand the values from earlier, we can literally just think of these as single digits when we do it, which makes this calculating simpler. So 3 times 4 is 12, so we left our 10 in the next column, or 2 units there. And 4 times 4 is 16. Of course, that 1 in the 16 is that group of 100, and we're going to leave behind the 6, but we need to add this one in, so it's 7. And 2 times 4 is 8. Again, we have an exchange value to add in, which is 9. Well done, everybody. We've made it to the end, and here's your challenges to practice. These 3 questions here are to place into short multiplication method to practice it and the exchanging. Number 4 is a thinking question. You have to think through each of these without solving them with short multiplication and work out which part of this table you'd put them into. So would you sort them into less than 1,000 or greater than 1,000? So for example, the first one, 448 is less than 500, and 500 times 2 would be 1,000. So for me, this one here would be less than 1,000 when it was solved correctly. So I would place it in here. Once you've had a go at thinking through them and sorting them, if you really wanted, you could solve them with short multiplication to see how you got on. I hope you have fun practicing, and I'll see you again soon.